we have to speak about IKS, NEP 2020 and some pedagogy. Because this started in the year maybe 2016 when we entered an MOU with Anna University. So when we entered into MOU with Anna University, the Registrar Kumar sir was there, I think. So they told all the faculty development program in Anna University will be compulsory, will have the session on pedagogy, how to teach content, because we know they have a good teachers, good researchers are available, but if you want to transform into a good teacher, how best you can translate through pedagogy, that is very, very important. How you have to integrate pedagogy, that is very, very important. When ATAL formed, because as you all aware, ATAL was it is like a contemporary to NITTTR system. So I don't know how many of them are aware about NITTTR system. In India we have 4 NITTTRs actually. Way back in 1964, first NITTTR started in southern region, Chennai. So 1964 TTT, each NITTTR has a mentor institute similar to IIT. We had Huddersfield University from UK, they were our mentors. For Chandigarh, US people were the mentors. So each NITTTR had a mentor system. And all our laboratory, if you observe, it is like a corridor in UK corridors. It will be like with a lab, big labs with a good 8 rooms. So that was the concept. So NITTTR Chennai previously was a TTTI. We were looking after the 5 southern states. So Andhra, Telangana, Karnataka, Puducherry, Tamil Nadu, and Andaman Nicobar was there at that time. When Andaman Nicobar administratively, when we went to High Court, has gone to Kolkata. So Andaman Nicobar also gone to TTT, from TTT Chennai it has gone to TTT Kolkata. So then 4 NITTTRs. Chandigarh is there for northern region, Bhopal and Kolkata. 4 NITTTRs are available, and when REC became NIT in 2003, the same period TTTA became NITTTR. So they changed into NITTTR. Now last year they made us, not last year, this few months before, they made it to a deemed LOI. They gave the LOI because now as per NEP 2020, more university, degree awarding universities need to be there. So all central government and normal training institutes, everything has been converted into degree awarding, but it all awarded in the category of distinctive category. So our domain is only teacher education. Our degree affiliation, everything need to be a teacher education. That is the main mandate. So this is NITTTR Chennai as a whole. And NITTTR Chennai, it's a coordinator for Swayam program, Swayam teacher education. There are 9 national coordinators are there. Most of them are aware about NPTEL. NPTEL is for engineering and technology, and NITTTR Chennai is for teacher education. And you might have heard about 2019, there was a flagship project, National Initiative for Technical Teachers Training, flagship project by Ministry of Education. It's a brainchild of NITTTR Chennai, and we have been nominated as a National Coordinating Institute. So we are completely monitoring registration, not only registration, entire process for all the participant registration, and also National Mission on Mentoring. That is a part in NEP 2020. That has also been coordinated by NITTTR Chennai. So this is with respect to NITTTR Chennai. And when ATAL has formed, because ATAL was a contemporary, because like a competitor to NITTTR system, because this was formed when Vice Chairman Punia sir was there, MP Punia. MP Punia was former director of NITTTR Chandigarh. So when he came, he started a concept of ATAL scheme. But ATAL, as you all aware, it is the money from the education institutions taken, and for that money alone it has been given for the ATAL training program, because you all deposit some amount in AICT, but interest will not be given, only the initial amount will be given. So that interest occurred, it will be used for ATAL. That is, ATAL is nowhere getting a grant from the ministry. So that way it is a self-sufficient running programs like that they find. It is based on the colleges, engineering colleges money they are making it. So they said it is different, no need to worry, because there were a huge debate. A regulatory authority cannot be a certifying authority, because police can only arrest, he cannot punish you, only judicial system has to take care. So they are regulators, they cannot take into certified, they cannot do it. So the hue and cry was there, but some ATAL is running, and that is also. But ATAL, we were telling ATAL is like Ola groups, because they doesn't have any cab, but they have run several cabs, you remember. So in the initial, we were all telling stories, but it was good, because they told everyone has to be embraced into together. So that way ATAL started, and ATAL is also becoming. And since we gave the proposal to them, because training programs cannot be as such, it has to be some pedagogy component need to be integrated, some IKS component need to be integrated, some disaster component need to be integrated, constitution component need to be integrated, and NEP 2020 need to. That way it is now full-fledged. But NEP 2020 it's mandatory now. It is one of the few lectures, and Yoga is also one of the lecture which it has to be met, because sound, health and body, art of living was making an initial phase which we are involving this thing. And this course also very close to my heart, and construction automation, because recently also we did some work with collaborative with China's Shenzhen University, where we were working on automation, because I had a 2-year assignment with them. On summers we used to go because of some schemes were there, through that we were going. So today my topic is very limited to NEP 2020, National Education Policy 2020. By this time everyone is aware of 2020, but in January also we are launching one MOOC program, 10 hours MOOC program. I am coordinating on NEP 2020, but they just asked me to coordinate. நம்ம அந்த படையப்பா படத்துல நம்ம சட்டை அவருது நம்ம மாப்பிள்ள நான் ரப்பர் ஆயிடுச்சு. But all UGC lectures which are all available in the through the webs, we have to collate everything, and that has to be structured in the form of a course of all the chapters. That is the main. Why the NEP 2020 became more hot topic? One, the government has launched it, and whatever, anything government comes, everyone will have a habit of commenting easily. That is also because, but why I am telling, yesterday also in some social media group we were arguing like anything. When NITTTR was there, all the policies are uploaded in the government portal. We are requesting the public to respond to the policies. Based on the policy, there are committee has been formed to look into the comments. It has been incorporated, but unfortunately we are not doing those things. Especially for NITTTR, I was compiling all the country. I will just show you. Even I have the Excel sheet, but very frivolous, but very shallow level of comment only was there in NITTTR. Whether the training program payment will be given by government. So all not that how the impact is going to be there, because all the policy, even NEP 2020 was there in the portal. Even approval bureau policy was there. Even last week 16th of November when we went. At the time only they are finalizing the approval process handbook. At the time also still that the comments are not that much concrete or critical. But we will decode what NEP 2020 literally talks about. When we want to decode, we should know the fundamental nuances, how it has started all along, so that it will be easy for you to comprehend. Generally when I tell about outcome-based education, the people should know the history about outcome-based education, then it will be easy for you to comprehend. That is the main purpose. So in this lecture, content expressed are purely my technical perspective. It does not represent the organization with which I am affiliated. Okay, so disclaimer, I am making it clear, because no way NITTTR or central government or no one is in charge, and whatever we are doing, it's based on our own interpretation we are doing. That is the way which you have to interpret, because suddenly anywhere the message should not come, because that we want to be very clear. So this is the way the system of students entry at present it exists. What education system we have, sir, now? I have already told, outcome-based education system. Before outcome-based education system, what system we had? Teacher-centric. Now also teacher-centric. No, teacher only dictates. You are, Kumudha madam has a complete control of a subject, what she is handling. The mark, entail, she is handling. What exactly, what we were calling that system previously? Input-output based model, so output-output based model. Then we made the outcome-based education. But if you see the outcome-based education, the genesis, if you observe, it all started with the launch of a satellite Sputnik by Russians. Russians were launching a satellite which were very successful. The Americans, they started having a fear factor, because generally they are normally a fearful people. That was my personal observation. But when they have started launched the satellite, they want to know what sort of education system they have, why strong they are. That is the reason. So under the headship of Professor Spady, the committee has been formed to look into the education system of Russia, so that they will evolve a model. It is exclusively developed only for school education system, later on scaled up to the higher education system, because they have a concept. If school education system is refined, by default the higher education system will perform very well. That is like a predictive validity. In entrance examination, we keep examination on physics, chemistry, mathematics. The people who perform well, they perform engineering very well. That is a predictive validity we call, because 4 types of validity. So similarly, they thought if a school education is reformed, obviously higher education will play an important role. That was a major aspect which the Spady has done. But if you observe, to be frank, the outcome-based education system, the fundamental definition provided by Professor Spady is learning is fixed, learning time varies. That's the fundamental definition Professor Spady gives in his book. You can just put outcome-based education Spady, the PDF will come, old PDF document. It is basically revolves for a school education system. Later on it has been adopted for higher education system. So learning is fixed, learning time varies. But only thing, the minimum learning is fixed in outcome-based education. We are fixing only minimum, this much knowledge the student should possess when you want to declare him a competent enough to pass this exam. So that is the minimum we are fixing it. But the time difference always varies. And it could be made into equal at a shorter duration of time if you adopt different methodologies. That is up to, because for example, if I draw a line here, this pencil will take only less time, but this pencil will take more time to reach it. But everyone would have joined higher engineering college, but everyone will not possess the same entry we given, because minimum entry level is only fixed, but there will be variation will be there. So that is the crux which the outcome-based education system came. It is nothing but our own old Gurukula system has been paraphrased in a different perspective. That is it. Learning is fixed, learning time varies, because everyone is not joining the Gurukula at the same time. You remember, you will join in the Vijayadashami period, but the graduation depends upon how quick you are adapting to the knowledge. Even if you remember, myself and my brother, we joined to Vikvinayagaram for a Mridanga. My brother secretly graduated, but I took more time. You know, it all depends upon your own practice, your own focus, like how the samurai movie, how focused you are there, because if you focus multiple things, you cannot succeed quickly. That is also there. So outcome-based education, initially it came for school education, then but in outcome-based education in India, we have adopted Washington Accord. We are a signatory. There are 3 major accords which we talk: Seoul Accord, Sydney Accord, and Dublin Accord, and Washington Accord. But Washington Accord, we were implementing outcome-based education. But outcome-based education is not something new. It is same old, but we are measuring in terms of outcome. Previously, output we are measuring, because at that time the participants were very limited. Now the students are more, and we cannot ensure something like a fast food mass cooking concept, or the quality checking parameters have changed. So this NEP 2020 basically focus on our own system, how it opens. So where we are heading. If you remember, now education institutions does not mean students will learn. That is the reality now. Previously we had a concept: if you want to grow in your life, join education institution. If you join education, if you study, you will get a good job. If you get a good job, you are settled in life. That is a concept which we had. But now that is not the scenario. Remember, I observed, even if you go abroad, because now they have a wonderful mantra: duty of any education institution is to provide knowledge, not the job. You remember? Job, they have to market themselves. That was the US. There is no placement. Even if you see about accreditation, because Raju Dandu sir is in India, because yesterday we were just chatting, because we are having some shooting with him for how the accreditation global and India, we are going to have some recording on next month. So before that we were having some talk yesterday. So when we discuss in ABET system, they have only placement, students enrollment and successful completion, but not the placement criteria. But they are also Washington Accord, but we are also Washington. But in our NBA placement criteria is there, you remember how many of them got placed. So we have to make up the proof, and we have to call all but they are very clear. The role of education institution is only to provide knowledge, not job. It is up to them to market. Okay, they have to market, and they have to. You cannot, because what happened in private institution, if placement is not good, the placement officer placement will not be there next semester. That becomes a problem in most of the colleges and places. So we have to think in a different perspective. Now education institution does not mean, learning does not mean students will have the skill for the labor market. Nowadays we are talking too much about skill. You remember, even sir also might have joined in BAS recently. We signed an MOU because I go for an accreditation. NIBL also I go regularly. So I had an advantage of to see NB also we go. NAC I am a DVV member, and NIBL also I go. So when I go to NBA, I have a different perspective. NIBL I have a different perspective. So recently also last week, Saturday, Sunday I was in Jaipur. When I landed, the flight was we don't know whether we will land in Chennai. That was the situation we were in, but luckily we landed late night. But in NIBL we are seeing the skill. Even with BSc Physics, BA Hindi, the people are performing laboratory very nicely. Because as per NIBL accreditation, if you want to certify any laboratory person, he has to be 10th pass. That's all. No, even 12th also. 10th pass is enough. They will have Hindi, and they will answer in Hindi. I will ask in English. Remember, ek gaon mein ek kisa Raghutata story. So, but I also interview them, and we do it. Somehow we manage it and we do it. But now we are talking too much about skills. But even if they possess skills, that doesn't mean to have their job in the labor market. Remember, that's a big problem which we are facing it. And having skills does not mean students will have a job. Even if you possess skills, doesn't guarantee you have a job. You remember, because the job market is highly dynamic. It's a complex route how we have to occur. So these are the problems which we are facing. NEP try to address those problems. That is the way I'm making the genesis. But you have to remember, this is the most important time to be in the education. This is the most important time to take care about education. This is the most important time where we can create impact in education. Globally, if you want to have a respect, we have seen, because 2014 as a delegate, part of a delegate, we went to a different country where how they received also we observed. In 2021, during after pandemic, 21-22, when we went to Singapore, before this NEP 2023 axis model, academic model scales, the way in which the country looks into us, it's a different perspective. So that's the way we are good, but we can create impact in education. But our education system, but if you observe most of the education institutions, what we are thinking, they need a knowledge, because they are like a knowledge providers. Basically, we believe the education institutions are knowledge providers, but how far the knowledge will create an impact in the community. Because if you see the NEP 2020 document, the community transformation became a very up, because it is not you are growing, your community need to develop. That is a, if you do just search, make them more than 40 times the word community comes, community, because the old schemes they are bringing out, that's the only thing. The knowledge in turn should provide a job, because if a job is not there, education institutions cannot serve it. That is also there. But in knowledge, you can obtain in any space, either in a physical space or a digital space. Because Sir was telling previously we used to come to NITTTR for training program. These days we are not coming for training, because previously when Kumuda madam wants to make biryani 20 years before, he might have called her mother or neighbors to ask how to make a non-butter masala. Now no need, you can just put YouTube channel and you can cook very nicely. If everything comes out correct, what you can claim? I cooked. If everything goes wrong, that YouTube channel recipe is not good. It's a worst channel, we should not like it. I have to go to next channel. Remember, very path of east we are. So we are not worried about the recipes. So physical space and digital learning space is expanding. So in the chapter 23 and 24, the government clearly talks about how the digital platform need to be maintained, because now online universities they have made, and they have made 8-member committee by the government of India. I am also one of the member, where Nadda sir is the chairman, not the BJP, right? UGC and Nadda sir is the chairman, all Andrew sir is there, everyone. We are looking about how now we have advantage. If you are attending any training programs, ATTL or any training program, if you observe nowadays we made a mandatory, a certification need to come with assessment. Without assessment, if you are giving certification, that certification will not be taken for consideration, because it's only a participation certificate. Now, next academic year, you will receive two sorts of certificate. Certificate of participation, certification of completion. So the completion certification is valid for 3 years, you can use it for credit transfer. So like a credit card, you can redeem the points and you can convert into PG certificate, PG diploma, usually, because up to level 7 we can redeem all the certificates and all the points, because now 1 week training program if you attend, it is equal to 30 nominal levels and it's equal to 1 credit we are giving. So now the government is very clear. These are all part of NEP 2020. That's all outspring of NEP 2020. So the challenges are plenty. The solutions, we are worried about the challenges, but the solutions are also there. We'll just look into the solution one by one, but we always try to fix the problem in a different perspective. One thing is, we have a habit of trying to emulate from developed countries. Always, so that reason always we believe the people who are very fair complexion, they will not tell. We always admire, you know, they are telling right. But if you observe, we went to Singapore recently as a team of delegates around the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The Singapore government, they were showcasing their 15 countries from the Our country 4-5 members we went. And you remember how their education system started. 1964 they got independence lately. But first basic Ministry of Education building ஒரு photo வச்சிருப்பாங்க, historical photo, everyone should, it is there in my laptop, but laptop unfortunately it got some issue. I have given to Apple வந்து பார்க்கறதுக்கு அழகா இருக்கும், சர்வீஸ் பண்ணும்போது தான் தெரியாது வழி என்னன்ட்டு. அது மாதிரி இட் இஸ் அதே 5 வருஷத்துல Vantage மாடல் தான், அது எப்படினே தெரியல. வாங்கும்போது லேட்டஸ்ட் மாடல் தான், within 3-4 years it became a Vantage மாடல் parts are not available. So Tata ஓட photo வச்சிருப்பாங்க. The skill education in the Singapore, it all started with Tata. Tata is only starting the skill education. அங்கிருந்து ஆரம்பிச்சது ஐடி, NUS எல்லாமே அதுல தான் கிளம்புறாங்க. So the starting point is Tata. Tata is only after the independence they have the poor education system. So Tata is only supporting it. அவங்க டாட்டாவோட பெரிய ஃபோட்டோவும் அதனோட டாட்டா போர்டு வச்ச ஸ்கில் இன்ஸ்டியூட்டோட ஃபோட்டோ வச்சிருப்பாங்க. பிகாஸ் வி ஹேவ் டு அட்மையர். நாம ஆனால் எல்லா கண்ட்ரியும் போய் பார்த்தோம், சிங்கப்பூர் எஜுகேஷன் சிஸ்டம் இஸ் குட்ன்ட்டு. டாட்டா நம்ம ஊருக்காரு, பட் இட் வாஸ் குட் ஆக்சுவலி. ஸோ வி ஆர் ட்ரைங் டு ஃபிட் சம் சொல்யூஷன், வி வில் சி. பட் நவ் NEP 2020 predominantly focused. Don't worry about the content-based education, because content-based education is good. But the students, unfortunately, they are not in the position to connect anything. So the focus is has to be context-based education. So நிறைய பேருக்கு என்ன பண்ணணும்னு தெரியுது, படிக்கிற கான்செப்ட்ஸ் தெரியுது, but they don't know where to implement it. That's a problem. So we were focusing on, because for example, sustainable infrastructure. What do you mean by sustainable? Sustainable ஊருக்கு வேற மாதிரி ஆகலாம். SDG goals இருக்கு, but SDG goals மாதிரி we had a millennium development goal. That is a different perspective. அது ஒரே ஒரு criteria, 7 number criteria, ensure environmental sustainability. அது மட்டும் தான் environmental பத்தி பேசுச்சு. 8 கோல் 17 கோல் ஆயிடுச்சு. So all these things have been expanded. So we will see. So let's together explore NEP 2020, but we have to zoom it and see. There are several positive things are there, and we will discuss one. Positive thing, negative thing இருக்குன்னு நான் சொல்லல, எல்லாமே பார்க்குற பரிமாணத்தில் தான். So but we are always blindfolded in the studies. Current generation kids வந்து over towards mark. That is a problem which we created. Mark நல்லா எடுத்துதான். ஸோ மார்க் எடுக்கிறதுக்காக என்ன வேணா பண்ணலான்றது ஆயிடுச்சு. You remember professional ethics, விஜயவாடால ஒரு ஃபேமஸ் இன்ஸ்டியூஷன் which was a model institution in NBA ஓட கமிட்டி வரும்போது, திருச்சியும் அங்கே BMS 3 காலேஜ் தான், விஜயவாடா காலேஜ் பேரை சொல்லலை. அங்கே வந்து we had a 3 days program on question paper authoring, ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் டீச்சர்ஸ்க்காக பண்ணினோம். பட் அங்கே வந்து we asked the students what are the different ways you can cheat in the examination without revealing the identity we collected. We got a wonderful ideas. You remember எப்படியெல்லாம் எப்போ டீச்சர் ஏமாத்தலான்ட்டு நல்ல விதவிதமாக ஆன்சர் பண்ணியிருந்தாங்க. It was a good activities, because we do some studies at different institutions. So why I'm telling is, even in professional ethics subjects, the people will copy. That is a scenario, because we equate everything to the fruits. Blindfolded. Let's see where is the key. It is impossible to redesign requirements to fit into a system, but we can redesign a system for our requirement. அதுதான் NEP 2020 பண்ணிருக்கு. So they want to redefine the system, because you cannot do the operation. Operation பண்ணும்போது வலிக்க தான் செய்யும். But if you want to evade the disease, obviously operation has to be there, because somehow we have tuned to a system of mark, not the value system. Moral education கிடையாது. இப்போ sustainable development, sustainable definition பண்ணா 3 definitions தான் நீங்க சொல்லுங்க, 3 pillar concept தான் சொல்லுங்க. ஒன்று economy, environment and people. But that is not there, because it is a political wing also, now we talk it, but it is a social construct, it is not a technical construct. Sustainable development is technical construct, social construct. If you see, all our value system need to construct with a social base. That is what the NEP 2020 talks about. Let's see the genesis. 1948 la ஆரம்பிக்கிறாங்க, ராதாகிருஷ்ணன் sir committee, and eventually the secondary commission has also been framed, where they want to make primary educationக்கு அப்புறமா யூனிவர்சிட்டிக்கு முன்னாடி எப்படி எஜுகேஷன் பண்ணணும் தான் அதோட ஃபர்ஸ்ட். Based on Radhakrishnan sir committee, 1964 when they started the different NITTTRs and எல்லாம் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணும்போது